Attention passionate Seattle SEAHAWKS fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC West and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Seattle Seahawks' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Seattle Seahawks fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Seattle SEAHAWKS fans. Let's get to the news. The NFL rumor mill is buzzing with one of the most intriguing and potentially game-changing trade scenarios we've seen in recent seasons, and it involves none other than Patrick Surtain, the Denver Broncos star cornerback. Now, I know what you're thinking. Why would the Broncos consider trading a Pro Bowl caliber player like Surtain? Well, in the NFL, especially in a season that's been somewhat turbulent for Denver, teams are always weighing their options, and the Broncos are no exception. With a 5-8 record and a roster that's feeling the pressure of a rebuilding phase, especially after parting ways with their legendary coach Sean Payton, the Broncos are apparently eyeing a strategic roster overhaul, focusing heavily on their offense going forward. Insiders point to Denver's desire to rebuild their offense in the post-Payton era, which makes sense given their struggles to consistently put up points. While their defense has been somewhat steady, it's clear that they're questioning whether they can rely on their secondary, especially with the limited depth behind Surtain. They've been capping their cap space at around $3 million, and their focus has been on extending their quarterback, which leaves little room for keeping all their star defenders. So the idea is that Denver might be willing to trade Surtain for a couple of high-value picks, possibly a first-rounder in 2026 and a fourth-rounder in 2027. It's a bold move, but one that could set the Broncos up for a fresh start on both sides of the ball. Now, why would Seattle be interested? Well, the Seahawks are sitting comfortably at 9-3, but their secondary has faced some challenges, especially with the injuries to Witherspoon and Love, who's currently on IR. Even so, Seattle has built a reputation as one of the league's top defenses, particularly with their corner duo that's been locking down receivers and creating turnovers. Adding a player of Surtain's caliber could elevate their secondary to an entirely different level, making it one of the top units in the league, potentially even the best. Surtain, as many Seahawks fans know, has been a Pro Bowl player in 2025 and has been showing why he's considered one of the most talented young corners in the NFL. This season, he's accumulated 52 tackles, 5 interceptions, and 12 pass deflections, with a PFF grade of 89.2, which is outstanding. His EPA per target stands at -0.19, indicating he's shutting down opposing receivers, and he's allowed a YAC yards after catch of just 30 yards, meaning he's great at preventing big plays after the catch. His coverage stats are solid, with a completion percentage allowed of just 51.8%. And keep in mind, he's been relatively healthy throughout the season, with minimal injuries, which is always a plus. In his career so far, Surtain has totaled 201 tackles, 14 interceptions, and 41 pass deflections, with a consistent PFF grade averaging around 86.4. His yards allowed per game in coverage are roughly 46.9, and he's been targeted about 5.2 times per game, which is a manageable workload for a shutdown corner. Just last week, he made a highlight reel interception and a touchdown against the Falcons, showing his playmaking ability at crucial moments. His burn rate, how often he gets beaten, is only around 28%, which is exceptional in today's pass-happy NFL. The Broncos, on the other hand, are currently focusing on their offensive side, especially with their ongoing efforts to extend their quarterback, which is a priority for them. They're also wary of their secondary's depth, having allowed 241 first downs this season, which indicates some vulnerabilities. The defense has been holding its own, but their offense, averaging about 23.4 points per game, hasn't been explosive enough to carry them into the playoffs. They're probably betting on draft picks and younger talent to rebuild their secondary and overall defense, which makes Surtain potentially available in trade talks. Seattle's secondary, already considered one of the elite units in the league, would get a significant boost with Surtain joining the fold. Witherspoon and Love have been standout corners, but adding someone of Surtain's caliber would give the Seahawks a truly dominant duo. Imagine a secondary that could project to increase their pass deflection rate by at least 25%, with more passes defended and a lower yards per game allowed. Their expected points added per pass, EPA pass, could drop to around 14, making it almost impossible for opposing quarterbacks to complete passes deep downfield. This move could also have a ripple effect on the Seahawks' entire defensive scheme. With Certain in the lineup, they could afford to be more aggressive, trusting their secondary to lock down receivers and force turnovers, which is a hallmark of Seattle's defensive identity in recent years. It's about sealing the perimeter, forcing quarterbacks into uncomfortable throws, and creating chaos that leads to turnovers. Plus, with Certain's ability to cover Metcalf and other top receivers, the Seahawks could close down the deep passing game even more effectively, reducing their opponents' yards per attempt and making life miserable for any QB facing them. Now, let's look at the bigger picture. The odds for the Seahawks making a deep playoff run are already looking favorable, with their current record and division dominance. Adding Certain could push them even further, boosting their chances by around 19% according to some betting odds. It's a bold move, but one that could solidify Seattle's position as a true title contender. Think about it. If Certain joins forces with Witherspoon, Love, and the rest of the defensive squad, they could form one of the most feared secondaries in recent Seahawks history, rivaling the dominant units from the past. And it's not just about today. It's about setting up a dynasty. Certain, at just 26 years old, is entering his prime, and bringing him into the Seahawks defense could be a visionary move by GM John Schneider and head coach Pete Carroll. It's about building a defense that can carry the team deep into January and potentially February. The Seahawks have always been about having a balanced team, strong defense, dynamic offense, and this kind of move could give them that extra edge they need to finally break through and claim another Super Bowl. Of course, the Broncos will be cautious. They're skeptical about trading Certain to a division rival, but with the right draft picks and the right package, they might see this as a chance to reset and focus on their future. For Seattle, though, this is an opportunity to strike while the iron is hot. Their secondary has been top 3 in the league, and adding Certain could push them even higher, making their overall defense a nightmare for anyone trying to attack them. In summary, this trade scenario is shaping up to be one of the most exciting and potentially impactful moves of the season. It's about a team in Denver trying to rebuild, and a team in Seattle looking to cement their status as NFC West Kings and Super Bowl contenders. Certain could be the X factor that pushes the Seahawks over the edge, giving them that elite corner duo that can match up with any receiver in the league. If this trade happens, it will be a statement to the league that Seattle is serious about returning to their championship glory, and it might just turn the tide of their rivalry with the 49ers and Rams in the coming years. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YOUTUBE algorithm to keep recommending the latest Seattle Seahawks news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. Now I want to hear from you Seahawks fans. What do you think about this potential move? Would you love to see Certain in the navy and green? Do you think it's the missing piece for a Super Bowl run? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Seahawks. Remember, I'll be back soon with even more updates, so stay tuned for all the latest Seahawks news. Let's keep this passion alive and continue supporting our team through thick and thin. Go Hawks!